Hi, my name is Ryan with Wrangler Riders, and in this introductory series, we're going to go through some of the basics you want to have with you as you get ready to go out on a trail ride with your road legal four-wheel drive. Now, we're not going to talk about everything. There's definitely more equipment that you could have in there, but we're going to talk about some of the basics that we want you to have before you come to your first trail ride, if possible. Some of this will also be available for loan. In the trail rides, we'll have some equipment to share as well, but best bet, always bring your own stuff. Most of the stuff on this table is relatively inexpensive and gets you, once you have it, you can use it for many, many seasons without needing to replace it. So one of the first things we're going to talk about is having some basic recovery gear and first aid gear. Always carry a first aid kit. Now, some of these kits are little boo-boo kits. They're not going to do much in the event that somebody, has a major accident. But for small cuts, snake bite kits, those types of things, bug bites and that sort of thing, definitely want to put safety first on the top of the list, so get yourself a first aid kit. This is just a basic kit. You can get a whole bag if you want, or anything in between, but always carry something basic. The next thing you always want to have with you is a fire extinguisher, and we try to have the fire extinguishers near your driver so that it can be reached at any time. They come up with these really nice bags like this to carry them, and make sure that once in a while you shake up and loosen up the material inside, because once you drive around a bunch, it packs it down in whichever direction you're at. Make sure that these are always compliant, and that they are not recalled, because some of them have had recalls lately, and that there's a date on them to make sure that they don't expire. Fire extinguishers are relatively cheap if you buy them locally, and the bag kits are, again, relatively inexpensive to mount them wherever you want to mount them. Next up on the list, we want to have some basic recovery gear. Now, your machine, your road legal four-wheel drive, should come with some tow points. If you have a stock Jeep Wrangler or related, most of those come with tow hooks, and those will work. If you want to upgrade your tow hooks to something like, here's a receiver for the hitch, and a shackle. Shackle mounts are great because you can have them completely secured and you can't get anything off of them. So, and we'll talk more in detail about recovery, shackles, weight limits, different angles, that sort of stuff, because there are some things to know about shackles, but basic recovery gear, shackles are better than tow hooks. Then you're going to want to have a recovery strap. A lot of folks will get a recovery strap, put it on their rear tow hook, and then throw it in the back of their Jeep with the tow hook already secured. So if you need to quickly access it, you can just throw it to your buddy or what have you, and that works really good. Next up, we have communication. Cell phone coverage is getting better and better, but talking on them can be rather difficult, especially in large groups. So one of the very basic things that most people have is a CB. Here's one of the most basic CBs you can get. You can get these for $20 to $40 online or in stores. And it's a mobile kit, so you can actually either plug it in or have it run on battery power. This is handy for when you're doing spotting and getting out and talking to each other in that regard. A lot of people will carry a base mount for the inside of the vehicle and a portable mount, so if they have to still talk while they're outside the vehicle. CB communication is definitely still, while it's an old technology, it's still very, very useful. You don't need a license to use it. There's many options, and they're very affordable. Most of these CBs will come in at $20 to $200. Will get you just about anything you want to get. Then you'll need an antenna, and then you'll have an antenna mount usually on the rear or underneath the hood, or hood mount. We don't recommend putting your CBs on the sides and such, because when you get close to trees and all that, it can catch on that sort of stuff. This is a fiberglass whip. You can we'll get into more of the communication stuff at a later time, but having something that's adjustable so that you can adjust your load, and we'll talk about what that means later, but you want to have your CB to run optimally with this type of stuff and get the best travel or distance. So we got communication covered here. Now, your group may use a bunch of different things. They may use race radios are a very popular option where only the whole group has to get one license. Ham radios where everybody gets licensed individually. Beartooth now has a system, so it's a portable cell phone network. The more people that have the Beartooth, the larger the mesh network, and it uses full frequency hopping and everything like a regular cell phone network. And then you can use more of your features on your cell phone, but still communicate within a group. So very unique stuff. Find out what communication piece or what communication devices are being used in your area, in your group, in your club, in your friend network, and get whatever they're using, because that's what's going to be important. Next up, we have a very basic necessity, which would be air down kit. This right here is the JT Brooks Pro air down kit. And the reason why this is important is being able to air down your tires is an essential relevance to crawling and preventing damage to your tire, getting more traction. And we'll go into that in some more advanced videos, but a basic air down kit, and the Pros, these JT Pros are adjustable, and they have the PSI right on the side, so there's no guesswork. So you can air down all 4 tires at the same time, and then you're not sitting there, you know, holding everything down. A good set of air deflators is definitely something you want to have. Right alongside with that, an air inflator kit is also something that you want to bring in. You can just get the small, cheap 12 volt that plugs into your cigarette lighter and it'll blow up your tires. That's one option. And then obviously there's the onboard air kits, tanks, and all that stuff. So it depends on how often you do it and what you want to spend on it. But the basic kits are very inexpensive. Then we have a tire repair kit. This is another option. Now again, I would probably go with the recovery gear before tire repair kits, but it really depends on what you're running and what environment you're running in. A lot of times when you're in an area that has real coarse rock, or you're in the desert where there's a lot of things that puncture the tires, these are probably more important. But again, ask your local trail guides what they would recommend doing first. But a basic tire repair kit will have all the necessities to fix you up on the trail. The winch is probably the most essential piece, and the winch will be a vital tool for recovery as well as giving you the peace of mind while you're out on the trail. While it's not needed right away, in most cases, some trails will require it almost immediately. You are going to want to have a little bit of knowledge about how to install a winch or get it installed by one of your fellow club members or one of your local dealers. A winch like this will be a vital tool, and again, peace of mind. Some of the, like the Jeep Wrangler that we have here today, we're going to do an install on this winch today, and we'll post that video at a later time. But this 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL Rubicon has a steel bumper that you can actually pop out the inserts and put a winch in there. But you also need a winch plate. So we had to get a winch plate to put the winch on that goes behind the bumper. So it's fairly simple install, just takes a little bit of time and a few friends. Then we have a spill kit. So if you have, these are absorber mats. So if you're out on the trail and let's say somebody spills, tips over or has a oil leak or coolant leak or something, you can actually absorb all this stuff and keep stay environmentally friendly with that. We'll carry bags and shovels as well to collect all the moistened soil to properly dispose of it depending on what type of material got on the ground. So these are just some of the basics. There's definitely, like I said, more gear. It really depends a lot of times on what others are doing or what others are carrying. It depends on the environment you're going in. You always want to have water and food if you're going on long extended trips. Definitely want to have water no matter where you go. Maps, definitely want to know where you are and where you're going. And you never want to travel alone. You always want to do a buddy system, 2 Jeeps two rolled legal four-wheel drives at a time. So this has just been an introduction to some of the basics that you want to have out on the trail. When we use these vehicles out on the trail, the object is to get through unscathed. We're not out there to destroy these vehicles. We're out there to have fun, crawl around, gain experience, gain friendships, and do it again the next day. So my name's Ryan Harden with Wrangler Riders. If you have any questions about this or anything about this in the video, post it below. If I forgot something, post it below, let me know. And tell us some of your experiences on some of this equipment that you've used and how important you feel it is. We'll see you out on the trail and in the next video. Thanks for watching.